is the Well I Am podcast. My name is Kerry Miller, and today we are talking gut health. Why is everyone so obsessed? Should we be so obsessed with your guts? We've got Danielle Venter, nutritionist, dietitian. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
I know that I met you because you are a dietitian to the Sharks,
Yes.
but I know you work with so many people. Just quickly, who are you? What do you do? Where do you work? I know that you're working even with some Olympians at the moment.
Yes, she's amazing, actually. So I've been in the game for about 17 years. I was actually a chef before, so I
Whoa.
had no idea what I wanted to do. I was a chef for 7 years, and then I decided, actually, I love teaching, I love healthy eating. I met a dietitian where I was working overseas, and I came back and I studied. And so now when you study dietetics, it's quite clinical. It's actually a clinical degree, so you're meant to work in a hospital, which is what I do. We work in ICUs, and I see a lot of gut health issues, a lot of inflammatory bowel disease, which makes me so passionate about gut health. And then I also have my own practice open to anyone really who wants to come. I seem to see a lot of school kids. I think a lot of parents don't know what to do with their kids, whether it's being overweight, whether it's sports nutrition, kids not eating enough, kids who are fussy. And then I tend to see quite a lot of people with gut issues. So a lot of people seem to be having IBS, or a lot of people have Crohn's disease. So all these gut issues. See a lot of people with anxiety as well, which then causes weight gain. And then, yes, I work with athletes. I've been with the Sharks for 13 years, I think it is now.
Basically trying to get them to eat their veggies.
Just to eat their veggies, yeah. Don't have to get them to eat more meat. And then, but with that, then I've seen a lot of other athletes. So, you know, I've got a South African kickboxing champion. I've got this amazing 17-year-old girl. She's 6th in the world in karate in her sort of section, yeah.
Wow.
And then I've got this 18-year-old. She's just turned 18, 200-meter butterfly swimmer. She's from Bosnia, so
Sure.
I see her online. And at the World, she just came 3rd. And then she
Congrats.
was racing against all these 25-year-olds. So, yeah, well, she's doing all the work as well, though. So, and that was really just, she was a junior world champion. Her coach said, we haven't ever focused on nutrition. Let's focus on nutrition. And in 6 months, you know, her whole body composition changed. She went from 25% body fat to 17.
Sure.
And she turned 18, went into Worlds, and actually got a bronze medal, which is incredible for her. And she's going to the Olympics, so we'll see.
Wow. Well, good luck with her and
Yeah.
with all of the other athletes. You know, just before we started recording for you, we were chatting now off air, and you just said something that I wanted to repeat because I think it's so important. You said you don't realize how important it is to look after yourself until you're a little bit later in life. For someone later in life, you might be 17 watching this and think later in life is 30. Someone else might think 40, 50, 60, 70.
Yeah.
The point is, you know, depending on how many times you've been around the sun doesn't make you feel old and decrepit. It's this dis-ease sets in if you don't look
Yes.
after yourself. And one of the things that I've often heard about gut is that your gut is your second brain.
Correct.
And, you know, when someone just will say, oh, follow your guts. What is your gut saying? And we don't actually realize what we're saying when we say that. Like, what is your gut saying? And at the moment, there's this massive movement towards gut health. And I know that that's something you're focusing on. And obviously, the Well I Am brand, huge into gut health, including lots of the macronutrients like the and also the little mushrooms and that kind of thing, your lion's mane and turkey tail, into all of these things. But no one understands what's happening. And you even said now that you're working with children, and I'm a firm believer that a lot of this ADD, ADHD comes from the fact that even with the best intentions, the food that we're getting off the shelves is not the quality that the kids should be having. So let's talk about gut health. What is gut health? Like, how do we know if our gut is healthy?
So what is the gut? So, you know, we've got this big word, the microbiome, okay? And it's actually, we have so many different bugs living in us. So there's bacteria, there's viruses, there's fungi, and there's a lot of them. You know, maybe 300 to 1,000 different species in our gut. It sounds absolutely gross.
But they're supposed to be there.
But they are supposed, well, some of them are not supposed to be
Okay.
there. And I think what's happening is because of the types of food that we're eating, there's a lot of convenience. I mean, I'm a mom of 2. It is really easy just to go and chuck that little convenient, sexy packet of snacks in their lunchbox. But what's happening is there's this like imbalance. So we've got too many like bad guys and not enough happy guys. And then the disease comes about. And it could be like you're not able to absorb nutrients properly.
Okay.
Which could make you tired. You know, if if your gut is really unhealthy, we're seeing a lot of mental health issues, and not just in adults, in kids. I'm talking like 15-year-olds.
Sure.
I seem to see a lot of 15, 16-year-olds. They're unhappy. And it's because our gut is responsible for so much. And if I think about all the people that I see in hospital, IBS, okay, everyone seems to have IBS.
Which is irritable bowel syndrome.
Irritable bowel syndrome. If you do a blood test, it's fine. If you do a scope, it's fine. You can't see anything in IBS. But it's generally related to stress. And the amygdala at the back of the brain is connected to the esophagus.
Sure.
So
as above, so below.
Yeah. So there's so many studies that show that when you're stressed, it actually causes stress ulcers. And even myself, I mean, I think it was about a year ago, I was having such a stressful time, just not coping with everything going on, you know, as we do, moms running around your own business. And I was getting all this like typical gut symptoms, you know, bloating up here. Are you constipated? Do you have a runny stomach? You know, not sleeping well, like feeling not so amazing in my mind. I thought, no, I need to go for a scope. Everyone should go for a scope over the age of 40.
And by scope,
it's when
colonoscopy or endoscopy?
Gastroscopy, yeah, they stick the camera down. And I had 20 bleeding ulcers at the bottom of my stomach. I know, I was like, what? Okay, show me the photo. Went on the medication, went away. But he said, do you exercise? I exercise. Do you sleep well? I sleep 8 hours a night. Do you eat well? I was like, yeah, definitely. I mean, I can't actually really change anything. Are you stressed? There you go.
Okay.
And it was a high level of stress at the time. And for me, I was like, that is insane, that just so much stress can do that. And then about 6 months later, I had like a similar, I could feel it. Okay, let's go back onto the medication for 3 months, and then it's fine. And I notice that a lot of people that come through the doors, if they've got some sort of inflammatory bowel disease, they all have some level of anxiety or depression. And they all have a bad diet. Because I think people also don't know. I think it's an education thing.
So before we just go into the diet, when it comes to your gut, right? How do I know if my gut is unhealthy? Are you studied enough to talk? Can I talk poop with you?
Yeah.
Okay. So your stool.
Your stool.
Is there an amount that I should be going to the loo every day? Like what would be considered healthy versus unhealthy?
So you definitely should go to the toilet every day.
Every day, at least once.
If you're like regular, if you go every morning at 7:15, sort of 15 minutes after you wake up, very healthy. I mean, it doesn't have to be that time. Could be after lunch or whatever. But once a day, and I don't know why it's a guy thing, a lot of guys will say they go twice a day. I think it might have to do with the amount of food that they're eating. But once a day is ideal. If you are going to the toilet 3-4 times a day, no. There are some people that have diarrhea. They're going to the loo 7 times a day, every day for 3 weeks, and they just think it's normal. If you're not going to the toilet, I also have clients who don't go to the toilet for a week.
What the actual? What are you talking about?
So,
but where does that poo go then? Is it just sitting there?
It does sit there, and then some people they start vomiting. They have nausea, but it's actually just the poo's like stacked up. It's called fecal loading. I promise you. Very common in children. Actually.
Oh, okay, all right.
Or in teenagers. And then, then there's colour.
So I was about to say, look, we can pretend we don't look. You know you look. Yeah. You know you look. So
is it yellow? Then there's too much fat in your diet.
Okay, so if yellow poop, too much fat.
No, it just must be like a normal, the brown colour.
Okay.
Blood, very bad. Then you've obviously you've got hemorrhoids or piles, as some people may call it, which means you actually had constipation, but now it's fine. And then you've got like cuts, so that's why there's blood. So that's also really bad. If it's like pebbles, like all stacked on top of each other.
Yeah.
Constipated, it needs to just come out. If it's like slimy, not good either. Just
okay, so all of these things can tell you.
Yeah.
So basically what you're saying is we can take a picture, send you can tell us.
Yes.
No, for real. Do people do that with you? So do you actually look at people's stools?
I have looked at people's stools before. Yeah.
Also, there's this movement, and I'm saying movement, talking about bowels, to do colon cleansing.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of women going and doing the colonics. You've got your coffee colonics. You've got the other colonics. I'm asking your opinion.
Yeah.
I know this is, maybe you haven't studied it or whatever, but your opinion of the colonic, is it something, because in my head it makes me feel like someone is going to be cleaning you out from the bottom. Are you being cleaned out from the bottom, or does this not really? Because people are saying it's really good for the gut health.
No, I mean, I don't believe in any of that stuff.
Okay.
Because I feel there's so much bacteria in our colon, and a lot of it is good. So then I'm feeling like you're getting rid of all the good guys as well. So I feel like rather with your diet, it obviously might take a bit more time if you put in the probiotics, the right prebiotics, and you slowly grow the happy guys and get rid of the bad guys, then you're going to get a better result. Because I think people think they're going to clean that all out and then they're just going to carry on. You know,
and not actually change the way.
Yeah, I just don't think it's really that good for you.
Okay. And then you just mentioned two words that I also have heard all the time, and I know prebiotic, probiotic. Yeah. All I know is as a woman, someone has said you take a probiotic if you're on antibiotics because you can get a yeast infection.
Yeah.
But at the same time, pre and probiotics, buzzwords, what are they? What do they do?
Okay, so a probiotic is a live bacteria. I mean, and there's so many probiotics out there, but it's just a live bacteria. Now you got to put it inside your gut, okay? And it's like a happy guy, but to be honest, it doesn't do a lot and it doesn't stay there for long. You pass it out, okay? So that's why you got to keep taking a probiotic every day. So what you actually want is you want the prebiotic. So the prebiotic is basically like a fiber, and really the only place you get it is if you look at the plant behind you. It's like in those veins of veggie. So if you think about an onion, it's got this, you know, like the string in an onion, the string in a leek. Let's say a spinach. It's those fibers.
Would like the mango hairs count or not?
Yes, a mango hair.
Oh, okay.
And you eat them and then they ferment in your gut. Again, it sounds gross, but that's what you want. And then that feeds the probiotic, and then it grows and we have a nice little community of happy bugs. And that's what makes our gut healthy. So you need the probiotic, but kind of without the prebiotic, then you just take it every day. So the prebiotic is going to feed the probiotic.
The prebiotic, you just mentioned some of the different plants that you could take. Is a probiotic made inside of us, or do we all need to be supplementing probiotics?
Yeah, we need to take it. So like either you can take one or fermented stuff. So if you're into eating sauerkraut or kombucha, this type of stuff, kimchi.
Okay, but
yogurt, but yeah, not everyone.
Yeah, but I was about to say though, because most of those things, sauerkraut. I don't know one person who just is like, oh look, sauerkraut in my fridge. What's that thing you said? Kimchi.
Kimchi. Yeah, no,
kombucha. I mean,
you can make it. It is
maybe like at the yoga studio, one or two people cruising with a kombucha, but I've never seen.
And their mother plant.
Yeah, I don't know. What's it? Scroby or whatever that thing's called. Yeah. What even? Okay. Yeah. So outside of that.
Yeah, so you do have to find, obviously, a brand that you can take. Yeah, so, I mean, I use the Nature's Nutrition, and they've got the probiotics, they've got the prebiotics. It's actually a lot of fiber. It's amazing. So that Nature's Nutrition, that's one the superfood, the superfood shake. Is that the one you're talking about? Yes, I use both. They've got a plant protein, and they've got a superfoods. So, you know, because I like to have
Do you put those together?
I put them together. So the plant protein has got the prebiotics in it, and I put 2 scoops of that, and I put 2 scoops, and then it's like an amazing 30 grams of protein shake that I have with superfoods, probiotics, prebiotics, fiber, superfoods.
Oh, okay. So I know exactly which one, the Nature's Nutrition. Which is your flavor, by the way?
Vanilla.
I'm a raw chocolate girl all the way. Have you tried the raw chocolate?
I like the raw chocolate as a dessert in yogurt.
Oh, it's so good.
So plain yogurt, a little bit of the raw chocolate, like a chocolate mousse. Have you tried it?
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna.
It's
that
amazing.
Raw chocolate one
Even
is
my
great.
kids eat it.
Okay, so then we got our prebiotics, probiotics. You can get it in that. Now let's say, for example, let's go back to the kids.
Yes.
Because my sister's got 3 kids. Growing up, I don't remember all the children around me on all the medications and all the ADD things and whatever else. I know that the screen time is a big issue. I understand that. We can't go into screen time now. That would take us a whole different direction. But yes, in a perfect world, the kids wouldn't be sitting on the screens. But let's go back to the children and the food. How much do you think that kids' health these days is directly due to the food consumption? Or do we just have a generation of children who are wired?
No, I like people get upset with me, but I'll blame the parents. Okay.
No, so we are talking to you for your opinion. So go ahead and blame.
You know, my kids eat anything. They will eat a raw broccoli salad. They will eat roasted Brussels sprouts. They will eat roasted veggies. I asked them tonight, what do you want for dinner? And they went, oh, Mom, can we have your chicken salad? And I'm like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But it's because from little, they've sat at my table in their high chair. I would pull it up next to me from 6 months, and they eat, like how we all used to have to eat at the table, which is, it's really good. And then they see you eat the broccoli, you put a broccoli on their plate, and then often a child will like push it away, and they say you've actually got to put it on their plate like 10 times before they actually pick it up and go, that's quite
so
nice,
bad.
So if you can model that from young, they will eat those foods. I think it's just a lot easier for us to put on the chicken nuggets on their plate and a bit of sliced cucumber and maybe some ready frozen chips because it's easy.
But then are you that mom who is sending letters to school to say, if it's Johnny's birthday, please make sure that my girls don't get any of the cake, or, for the birthday parties? How do you separate that? Because it's wonderful that your kids want roasted Brussels sprouts for dinner. That's great. It's also, if they go to a friend's house and the friend's mom, dad is going off to the Golden Arches for dinner, like what happens then with you?
No, I mean, we totally eat pizza. We have a pasta night. But the point is that they'll eat anything. And I would definitely say like 5 nights of the week they're having veggies. And obviously when they go out, they can have anything they want to. When they go to a party, they can have anything they want to.
Okay.
But, I mean, they wouldn't, even if they were at a party, I mean, my one child definitely not even choose cake. She might eat a bit of popcorn. She might eat chips.
Okay.
Yeah, and actually my older daughter, she was quite like chunky. I'd say she was overweight. And she was really battling a little bit with stress and a bit of bullying at school. And she was overeating, always complaining.
What age group is she about?
She was 12, so
12
this is, she was about 10.
She was 10 at the time,
yeah.
okay.
And she was always complaining about bloated stomach, runny poos, And I actually moved her to a different school, and then she sort of, her confidence started getting a little bit better, and then she came to me and she said, what can I do? So we exercised, we did a little bit of deep breathing, because you even do meditation with your children. And she's really focused on changing her, it was more her snacking. So now she will eat some avocado. And it is unbelievable how this child not only has her physique changed and she looks absolutely beautiful, but she's now that person who's regular. She eats breakfast, goes to the toilet, has not complained about any stomach issues.
It's such a fine line as well. I've got a best friend who's got a daughter who also was battling with weight. And it's such a fine line with the littler girls and boys to start dieting them, especially with the world that we live in now, because you want them to be happy. And happiness does come with being in a body that's suiting you and eating well. But there's such a fine line between, mommy's got her 15-year-old on a diet, because then it's flips. I wanted just to go back quickly to when you're talking about it's so easy to give kids chicken nuggets or something. Your opinion of the microwave?
Yeah, I don't mind a microwave. I think we've advanced so far. I think that whole story of a microwave, damaging something and causing cancer. I've even heard people say that about air fryers. I mean, I don't think microwaves would be here if they cause that much damage. I think it's really
hold on. I must stop you there, because we still sell cigarettes and booze. So, I see what you're saying. Yeah. But I always think if you say a pregnant woman can't be like by the microwave, I've always wondered, because I've heard all these things about like the food content being changed so drastically by microwave. I haven't done any research on it, so I was just asking your opinion.
I'd say our phones might be worse, but even that.
We're living in a hell, man.
I know. Yeah. So I cook my food. I don't really use a microwave. Love my air fryer.
Yeah, I know. Air fryers sent straight from God to us.
Yeah. So someone also said to me the air fryer is really bad. I don't know. I'm trying to think why.
Unfollow that person on Insta.
It's like a toaster, isn't it? Really.
I don't know, to be fair, at all. Okay, jumping again back to our guts. We have spoken about when you go to the loo. So we're talking about the actual feces, your stool. When it comes to gas, now, I know that we have this idea that men have more gas than women, but I think it's because men are allowed to be more gassy than women. You put a woman who's single alone, and trust me, boys, she's the same. Okay, she's the same. But anyway, we don't say that.
Women going through menopause is the same.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for sure. Estrogen.
Oh, okay, well, that's what I wanted to go to, is that does our gas tell also how our tummy is? Because I know if you've eaten obviously not me, a friend, broccoli or cauliflower, what is coming out there is not great. But that's good food that you're eating in essence. So when it comes to gas, how much gas, the smell of gas, how much does that say about your gut?
Yeah, listen, my daughter always says to me, Mom, I can smell you've been eating vegetables.
Love you.
But yeah, so look, if I eat broccoli, I'm fine. But I know a lot of people, they battle with the cruciferous veggies. But then I'm wondering, is it maybe because their gut isn't completely healthy? So irritable bowel, IBS, you can't eat. I always tell people, don't eat broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, don't eat lentils. I mean, these are all really healthy foods.
Even your beans, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but in that moment, for now, you actually can't eat it. You've got to cut it out for 5 weeks. You've got to heal your gut, and then we've got to reintroduce it. So you shouldn't really be that gassy. Most people actually are more gassy if they go out and eat a burger, chips, and a milkshake, or they're buying a oily curry out, because then it's just like havoc. So I don't think being gassy is normal, but obviously passing gas is normal.
Okay, and so, but if you have just straight up a smelly fart, that doesn't mean something's wrong.
No, that's good. I mean, like asparagus. Have you ever had a wee after you've eaten asparagus? I mean, it's like,
yeah.
So I think it's, yeah.
Okay, so now I've come to you. I know that something's not right. My tummy's not okay. I'm asking your advice. So someone perhaps that's watching this doesn't have the time or even just the resources to go and sit with a dietitian and get it. What would be I know that obviously each person is different.
Yeah.
But for someone who's they're not necessarily lactose or wheat intolerant, but you want to say these are like some of the basic things that I would definitely say most people could benefit from, especially if your gut is not healthy. Just some tips for us.
So I do what's called an elimination diet, which people look at me like, oh, so difficult. But we don't know what we don't know, So unless you're going to be all fancy on me and you're going to go do a biome test where I can see all the bacteria in your
What's
gut.
a biome test?
It's a stool test. You're like, poo in a cup and send it to America.
Are you for real?
Yeah, it is amazing. It's, it's available.
You have to hold the cup yourself. I mean, you can have someone hold the cup for you.
Yeah, what am I supposed to do?
I mean, this could be a whole new direction, yeah.
Yeah, and then you send it. I mean, it is amazing. I mean, when the test, I've done a few here. It is available in South Africa. Biome. And so if you're going to do that, then you get the report back. It's like, these are all your bad bacteria. These are all your good bacteria. These are the foods you should avoid. So
we should all do that.
Yeah, so amazing. But it's obviously a point in time. It's looking at what's your gut like now. So
okay.
you would do it if you just or you could do, your DNA test. So if you've got the money to personalize your nutrition, I mean, then
first prize. But I mean, yeah.
But if you don't, then we do an elimination diet. So elimination diet, we're cutting out dairy, very inflammatory for your gut.
For most people.
Yeah. I mean, if you cut out dairy, most people feel amazing.
Okay.
Gluten, not that I know everyone's like, I'm cutting out gluten, but most people can actually tolerate gluten, but we just cut it out because it is part of inflammatory bowel disease, so we remove gluten. Omega-6, like seed oils, which...
You take those out?
Yeah, so if you go to any supermarket
sunflower,
chain...
yeah, I heard sunflower and canola.
Yeah, so if you go to any supermarket chain, I don't care how fancy or expensive you are, and you buy a beautiful salad, if you read the label on the back, it says vegetable oil, seed oil, unhydrogenated, partially XYZ,
Sesame seed oil?
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Okay.
So we remove all of that. We remove anything in a packet.
And are you and again, this is your opinion, so please don't feel embarrassed to say your truth.
Yeah.
Are you veggie, vegan, meat, pescatarian? Depends on the day.
No,
flexi.
I'll eat anything. Yeah, so I would call myself pescatarian. So most people think I'm vegetarian when they look at how I eat, but I love fish. I eat quite a bit of fish. But if I go to my mom's, she often cooks lamb, and I'll eat the lamb, and I love the lamb.
Yeah.
And I'm also married to an Afrikaans man who likes red meat.
There we go.
But he doesn't eat red meat.
Oh, doesn't he?
No. He was actually vegan for a little bit, but now he eats, chicken. But I mean, I'm not that. I'll eat anything.
Okay.
I really will.
Yeah.
But at home, if I'm cooking for myself, it's basically kind of like a vegetarian diet.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So then we've got
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
was gonna eliminate, and the other thing
The seed
I would say is
oils.
to eliminate red meat, because it also can be a bit inflammatory just for your gut. So you eliminate all of that out for 5 weeks. And I say 5
All
weeks.
at once, or one at a time for 5 weeks? Do you know what I mean?
Well, depends on the person, because some people are like, no, I can't. I can't do.
And
that.
are you a sugar is the devil girl, or
Sugar in a Twinkie is the devil.
okay, but like some honey.
But
a
like
teaspoon of
honey's
honey.
fine. Yeah, sugar is bad for us. But is a teaspoon of brown sugar in a cup of tea for a 12-year-old who's playing sport bad? Not really.
Okay.
But is 4 teaspoons of sugar in your 6 cups of coffee a day bad? Yes.
Okay. Well, moderation, I'm hearing as well.
Yeah.
Here.
So it depends on the person. I prefer if someone just does it all at once, because then it's quite easy. So take it out for 5 weeks. I would throw alcohol in there, but people do tend to like
Yeah,
alcohol.
we'll just
Yeah.
yeah.
And then they can slowly add it back. So after 5 weeks, it's like, cool, let's add some bread or something with gluten.
Oh, and
in.
then you see how you react to that.
Yeah, but you've got to eat bread. Now you must eat bread today and tomorrow and the next day, and eat 2 slices a day. We want to see, is the gluten causing a problem? And if they then feel bloating, then you're like, okay, let's take that out. We take it out, we wait 2 days, then we add, I don't know, yogurt or cheese or milk, and we do the same.
Sure.
Yeah, and then the only veggies are the cruciferous that we would also cut out, but otherwise everything else, and that tends to work quite well.
When it comes also to water, there's also a big movement at the moment. I mean, I know we happen to be in KZN, so if you're watching this not from South Africa or from Durban, we have some issues in our water,
Yeah.
shitty water actually, so like E. coli and whatnot. But now there's also this movement towards water, and it must have certain total dissolved solids, or it must have, or it mustn't have fluoride, or it must have this pH or that. Obviously, water is a big deal. We are many percent water when it comes to our gut health. Your take on water? Because I mean, two liters a day, does it matter?
Yeah, it's actually 25 to 30 mils of water per kilo. So
25 to 30, so like a shot of water per kilo.
that
so if
you
you
weigh.
are 100 kgs, a shot
2.5 liters of water.
Oh,
If you weigh 50 kilos, 1.5 liters of water.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, are you exercising? Are you sweating it out? So everyone's different. And it doesn't need to be water. If you're drinking, a cup of tea, could you add that to the fluid? Probably yes.
And the crack of salt, have you heard about people saying like a crack
Putting
of salt
salt
into
in your
water?
water.
Why? And does that work?
I think we need sodium. So sodium in our bodies does so much. It helps everything jump over the cell membranes. So I mean, it's very good for us. A lot of us, we actually take a lot of sodium out. I say that though, we also get a lot of sodium if you're someone who's eating a lot of stuff in a packet.
Okay.
Or if you're buying those ready-made lunches, there's loads of sodium.
And is the pink salt the best salt?
I think you can eat whatever salt you want.
Really?
Yeah, here in South Africa we have iodidated salt for a reason. The little running man salt?
Yes.
Yeah, because we've got low iodine or iodine deficiency among a lot of our people. So then we have
So you want
iodidated
the
salt.
iodidated salt?
Yes, because low iodine can cause cretinism. So
What is cretinism?
yeah, when your brain like that, your brain grows too big, and like a little bit like Down syndrome. In unborn children, like if you're pregnant, yeah.
Good grief. And then obviously, can you check the gut health? I mean, mom's gut health, if she's pregnant, you just spoke about unborn children, the mom's gut health when she's pregnant, does her gut health almost automatically become her child's gut health? Or is a child born with the perfect gut?
I would say, well, it must be, I don't know, actually, if it's born with the perfect gut, but a mom's diet would definitely affect her immune system, and then her immune system would affect the child's immune system.
Sheesh.
How you eat definitely plays a role. So,
fasting?
yeah, so the only thing there on mother's diet is folate. Like, folate is so important when you're pregnant.
I've heard of this thing, folate.
They normally take a supplement, but you can also just get it from spinach and citrus and legumes. It helps your cells divide and your DNA repair. So, very important to prevent that spina bifida.
I can't keep you the whole day. I feel like I've got so many questions, but I want to, first of all, I know you mentioned that Nature's Nutrition product earlier. I want to go back to that in a second, but there was a question. Oh, when it comes to fasting, so it's also something else that's become this like a kind of a buzzword. Some people for weight loss wanted to do it. Other people just because they say if your body is digesting, it can't get to the repair and to
Yeah.
the regeneration of your body and your cells. From your perspective, this intermittent fasting and or even 1 or 2 day water fast or just a juice fast, do you think that is for our gut health specifically?
Yes.
Is that something that you would suggest? Is it something that is good? The people that are doing their 8 p.m. last meal, 12 o'clock. How many people I know that are sitting like this watching because at 12 o'clock they just want a chow. They're so hungry because their body is saying, I'm starving, but they've been told they must intermittent fast. So they're waiting till this 12 o'clock kickoff. And I wonder if your body is reacting poorly or well to that, if it's feeling like it's starved and then it just eats whatever it wants at 12 until 8. So I know I'm asking a lot here, but intermittent fasting or just fasting in general, does it positively affect our guts?
So I think so, yeah. I'm not a fan of intermittent fasting because I feel like people need nutrients, like you actually need nutrients, especially older women, if you're going through menopause, if you are a child, and I mean, believe it or not, there are even some children who are intermittent fasting, which is ridiculous. There are athletes. No, you should not intermittent fast if you're an athlete, because how can you expect any form of like power output? But I do think as a form of cutting calories and more of a mental thing for people who just they like to eat, then they are skipping a whole meal, and so they are cutting calories, and that's why they're losing weight. In terms of your gut, if you don't eat for, let's say, 12, 14 hours, maybe even from 16 now, you're bringing down inflammatory markers in your gut, and you're making your insulin more sensitive. But does it help then if you're then going to go and eat a crappy lunch?
Okay, yeah.
I mean, so you got to do it properly.
Detox to detox to detox to detox.
Yeah. And also, you don't need to do, fasting doesn't always have to be no food. So currently I'm doing this for 5 days, is where I'm fasting from anything that spikes my insulin up before 12. So I can eat, I have this amazing green smoothie. It's got spinach, it's got the Nature's Nutrition plant protein, it's got ginger, it's got lemon, it's got cucumber, it's got avocado, chia seeds. So, and that's what I had. So then you're not spiking your insulin, and that kind of does similar thing. I think if you're going to do a longer fast, there's this, big word, autophagy, which I just explain as like a huge vacuum cleaner in your body, like sucking up all the dead cells and toxins.
Oh, so that's
and
a
chemicals.
good thing.
Yeah, so I think that's quite good, but then you probably got to go a bit longer.
So what's a bit longer? 5 days, 7 days?
No, I'd say no, like 18 hours, 24 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And with that, some people that are doing fasting are including coffee and caffeine. I mean, the positives or negatives of caffeine, and specifically with gut health and inflammation. From your perspective, caffeine, yay or nay?
So I'm not a big coffee drinker, and I know, like I say, my husband is obsessed with coffee.
Well, it is addictive.
It is very addictive. So actually, 1 cup of coffee a day is good for you. It gives you a little bit of boost, helps you concentrate, does make you feel like a little bit good.
Proper coffee, like bean coffee?
Proper coffee, yeah. But more than that is actually pretty bad. Can make you anxious, can make you stressed, increases cortisol levels, and then caffeine's got to go through your liver. And your liver is actually your detox organ. So I also don't really believe in a detox diet. I believe in, let's support your liver, and then if we clean up the liver, then it's going to detox you. So it's got to go through the liver, and the liver doesn't really like caffeine too much. So, if I could say 1 cup of coffee a day before 10 a.m., that would probably be the best thing to do.
Okay.
In this 5 days that I'm doing, it's no caffeine. It is unbelievable how amazing your brain feels when you don't have caffeine just after 5 days.
Serious?
Yeah, sharp. Most people fall out of this challenge that I do because by day 2 that I need my coffee. Seriously? It is that addictive. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go. When we were outside, before we came into the studio, you were speaking to our director, and you were speaking about something, and I want to say that it was a spore, something spore. I know that comes with, it's like, I know it's in the
lactospore.
Lactospore. What is a lactospore? And can you tell us a little bit more about that specifically, the Nature's Nutrition superfood powder that you were talking about? Because I wanted to know, can it be used, is it a supplement? Can you use it as a meal replacement, or do you have it with your food?
Yeah, so I'm not a microbiologist. I don't know too much about all the different bugs and fungi and stuff. But, it's a good probiotic. What I love about Nature's Nutrition is that it's got everything in it. If you pick up, and I've got a box in my office and I show people, read that.
Yeah.
Tell me if there's anything you don't understand on there. And it's just, it's got the probiotic, it's got the prebiotics. It's, literally mushroom, celery, beetroot, you just read on and on. It's like dehydrated coconut flower sap as a sweetener. That's so sexy.
Yeah, it is sexy. It is. So currently in a relationship with.
Yeah.
Raw chocolate.
So it's, and it's, they're a really good brand. I like them. I've met Mark, just met Tanya. So, and I like what they stand for, and that everything's very real. And I've never ever had anyone that says it tastes terrible, because if I ask someone to drink green juice, it generally tastes terrible. So I just like that there's so much in there, and a lot also that's good for our mind, like you mentioned, the mushrooms and all of that.
I think it's got turkey tail in and
everything. It's so many things are there.
Lion's mane. Yeah, it is so much.
And like I said, I think in their plant protein is the prebiotics, which is also very nice because people don't eat enough fiber actually. So I use the plant protein as my protein shake. I stay well away from whey protein because whey is actually, it's very, very inflammatory for the gut. And I have so many clients that actually can't tolerate a whey protein. It makes their stomach run. And then you must know, something's not.
That's so right. Interesting. That's so interesting because we were talking about protein just the other day actually, and obviously it's each to their own, because now we've got some people that the whey protein is what they go to because it's such a good protein. So is it, if someone's gut can handle it, is it just like a kilo?
Yeah, everyone's different. Everyone's different, yeah. So, but I find a lot of people don't tolerate a straight up whey protein. If it's mixed, blended with the plant protein, it tends to be fine. So I use the plant protein. Generally, I love it on my oats. I use the vanilla caramel. It's it's like putting loads of honey on your oats. Or I make a shake. And then the superfoods, you could put in a smoothie, but I've got this ritual where I pour about 150 mils of water, 2 scoops, I mix it up, and it's my afternoon snack, and I love it. And it kind of looks small, but it's so high in fiber. When I drink it, I often think, I can't believe how full it's actually making me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so kids can have that, or?
Yeah, there is a kids one, but my kids just use the normal one. I don't take, any other vitamins, because I just feel if you're taking real food in, I have a bit of an issue with supplements. I feel like what happens to the plastic cap?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where does that go?
Yeah. I know that some people do the dissolvable and the whatever else, but I know that the ones I've got, they're not in plastic. They're just like those.
Okay.
I don't even. It looks like they've just been
a disc.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I always think that do they have binders in them?
There's just so much to worry about. Let's go back to how much the cell phones are killing us, and just don't stress about the binders. You said something earlier, and I know we're actually wrapping up, but Danielle was just talking about fruit, and I know so many girls and guys that don't want to eat fruit because
it's got
sugar. And she was like, it grew on a tree. It's fine.
Exactly. It's
eat your fruit, kids.
Our ancestors just picked it off a tree and ate it, so you can eat it too.
Exactly. If someone wanted to find you or wanted to have a consultation, where do we find you?
Probably Instagram is the easiest place to find me.
What's your Instagram name? Your handle?
It's, I have to think about that, at danny.health.
All right.
I think.
And also, if you are watching this and you have any questions at all, please feel free to just drop a comment. I promise you we will not just read, but we will reply to every single one. You're welcome to let us know. And also, if there's any other topics you'd like us to discuss and address, we just want to talk about health, because as we said earlier, you don't know how important it is to look after yourself until you get to the point when you're like, shit, it's too late.
Yeah.
I can't walk up the stairs. I can't sit on the floor. We never want to get you there. So join us on this wellness journey. And thank you so much, Danny, for being with us today and answering so many questions.
No, pleasure.
Please feel free to contact Danny if you have any questions at all. And of course, write in the comments. And you can also go to www.welliam.co.za. Bye.